As George said, I started my career as an engineer and had the exceptional good fortune of stumbling into this little engineering company called Cisco Systems in 1990. And as one of the very first engineers there, I worked there for a decade, which I described earlier to some of the financial people as the right decade, from 1990 to September of 2000. And I left to become a public company CEO. I sold all of my stock when Cisco had a stock price in the very stratosphere, and I was on top of the world. Things couldn't be better. As I was flying across the country one day, the phone rang, and I picked it up. It was my sister. And she said, you know, Don, that nasty bladder infection that Mom has is not going to be treated by antibiotics. It turns out it's stage 4 ovarian cancer. Wish I had a fork. Get a fork. I usually have a pin. I forgot the pin. It helps. And my mother died. And so I began to do some research because my expertise as a technologist is in market development. What I'm good at is taking underdeveloped technologies, going into markets that don't work, and making them work. And as I learned about cancer, and ovarian cancer in particular, I found out that it's quite a curable disease if it's found early. I had the good fortune of working with George Russell, Russell 2000 fame, many of you know here in the room from the financial community. He said, so tell me the story. What's the story in a soundbite? And the story is, find cancer early, and you live 9 times out of 10. And you find it late, and you die 9 times out of 10. And that's not to say that all the work we're doing in the biology and the molecular and cellular structure is not what we need to do. We do. But we have an intervention in front of us that in the next decade can save millions of lives. And that is by simply identifying and isolating cancer early. So the role of Canary Foundation is to build a molecular diagnostics industry that will deliver a blood test and a molecular imaging test to everybody through an annual screening regimen. We are not ready for prime time, and that's why it's philanthropic. And it needs to be philanthropic. But I'm a firm believer that nonprofits should have a mission, complete the mission, and go away. And I've been at this for 10 years in building up what is the world's best resource for early detection, which is now not just a West Coast resource, but is a national resource. In the last 10 years, we have accomplished a few key things. One is we understand that this is indeed a tractable problem. It is something that we can do, we can solve. Two, we understand that not only can we solve it from a technologically and scientific basis, but we can develop an industry with economic incentives so we can both save lives and make money. And in America, that's a virtuous cycle that will take off by itself. I firmly believe in 10 years, you can find me on a beach in Belize because the hundreds of scientists that are working on this will have accomplished it. And so I'm very grateful for the recognition from this organization, but I accept the award on behalf of the hundreds of scientists doing this work. Thank you.